honestly, I didn't know what this week's Boruto episode was going to be about. I thought they were going to do the whole thing where Kurama is talking to Kawaki and he's going to explain Naruto's like backstory and the path that he took up until the point of where he currently is. And for what it's worth, they actually did end up doing that for the first half of the episode. Kurama is talking to Kawaki and he explains how they're similar to one another, which honestly, in the previous video the previous review that I did last week, I was a little confused as to what they actually even meant. But then they explained it, and I was like, you know what, that makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think of it that way. And pretty much the way that Kawaki and Naruto are similar to one another is they both wield power that is unattainable for the vast majority of people in the world that they didn't ask for. And they have had to go live through life with this power that they didn't ask for and just have to be able to use it for something specific. And yeah, I mean, the episode explains it a lot better than I can. I'm just giving you a simplistic version of what was said by Kurama in the episode, but it makes sense. I didn't think of it that way, and I actually ended up liking that part of the episode. And it was only half of the episode. The only half of the episode focused on it, which I thought was really good, because the rest of it actually focuses on more character stuff, more character growth and development for one another, and specifically for Kawaki as well. And I actually really liked it. This episode is just, it did some stuff that I actually really enjoyed. Same thing with last week, and it's just like, I'm like, man, why is this more entertaining than the fighting that just happened? Like, in my personal opinion, just these two episodes so far have been more entertaining than the fight against Delta. It's actually kind of surprising to me that that ended up being the case. That I just find this so much more entertaining. I find the character growth and the interactions between one another to be so much more interesting to watch. And, you know, maybe it just means that the writers and the directors and the animators are just doing something right. They're making me feel for not just the action, which can be cool, but just the characters being characters, and, you know, the people being people within this show and being in the environment that they're in. Because the rest of the episode kind of focuses on Kawaki still trying to learn how to use chakra and chakra control, and he ends up climbing a tree like Naruto did previously before in part one, when he learned how to do the, you know, the walking on walls slash trees and etc, etc, just basic chakra control. And then later on, they end up talking. Boruto and Mitsuki are going to do some training from the looks of it from next week's episode as well. Sarada ends up continuing her training with how to use the Chidori. But the interactions between the characters and the environment that they're currently in, they're all fully well aware that they're in a situation where they're going to have to fight against Kara. It's not just them, it's everyone in the entirety of the village slash the entirety of the world. They're all fully prepared for this, but they're all willing and able to continue to keep trying harder and training harder to be able to be fully prepared for this. And Kawaki ends up giving out the name of the leader of the car organization. And apparently Konohama already had something revolving around his name, but Kawaki basically confirmed that what his name actually is. And of course Kawaki would know that. But what I really liked in that part of the episode was, you know, after Kawaki learned about Naruto's life through Kurama, and I really liked how it was Kurama that explained everything about how Naruto, whenever he would fight, he would be at his strongest when he was fighting for his friends. And now Kawaki has obtained the same thing. He's gained new allies and people that he wants to truly care for and care about and fight for and grow stronger with. And it seems like this is a huge thing for Kawaki, because he's never had this before. And what I really liked about this part of the episode as well is Boruto, even though him and Kawaki have had their differences and they always fight a lot, he does see Kawaki as someone that he is now invested into and that he cares about now. And he sees him kind of like a brother now. And I think that was actually a really awesome part of the episode. I actually really enjoyed it. And, you know, now they see each other as allies, as friends, and they want to, you know, fight for each other and grow stronger for each other because they have that mutual respect for one another now. And I really liked it. I really liked that part. And I feel like this also further develops Boruto's character and who he's going to eventually end up being, and how their final confrontation that we previously saw in the first episode is going to end up leading to. It's going to be very impactful. By the end of the episode, Sasuke ends up going into another dimension that Sai and his Anbu Black Ops team somehow found coordinates for. And it seems like from the previews, he's maybe gonna fight something revolving around the Otsutsuki. Maybe Jigen, it kind of teases that a little bit. And then Boros before in the previews, not in the previews, but before that, he ends up, you know, kind of doing off his whole spew of, yeah, you want to know why you don't have hope and this and that and blah 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 and infinite Tsukuyomi bullshit. It's definitely just showing off more as to the corruption and the mind control, not really mind control, but the corruption that the Kara organization are trying to do by having Boros do these kind of things for people in the world, because they're trying to get power and they're trying to, get back the old Tsutsuki, and they're trying to put people in the infinite Tsukuyomi that are siding with them. And it's all just really interesting, and I think the direction of the episode and episodes like these are really good. And the writing, of course, for certain characters are also really good as well. This whole episode was really enjoyable. I ended up liking a lot of stuff that happened in this episode, and I find it so surprising that I just find this more entertaining than the actual action and the fighting that happened in the previous episodes, in like 198 and 199 with Naruto versus Delta. Just for some reason, the fighting in those episodes just didn't really do it for me. I just didn't really find it that much I didn't find much entertainment in it. But here, where they're actually talking with one another, that's where the entertainment factor is for me right now. And just seeing them be characters is something that I feel like this show has needed for a long time. And the fact that we're getting it now, I'm glad that it's happening. I'm glad that I'm enjoying it as much as I am. And I feel like I said this before, if there's a time to get back into the Boruto anime, I feel like this is where people need to get to in order to feel like stuff is actually happening. And, just the show is really interesting right now. If people want to get into it, now is about as good a time as ever. So I recommend it. Give it a try. Anyways, that's pretty much the episode. I really liked it. I want to see more stuff like this, and it seems like we're going to get a little bit more about that. And next week's episode, maybe a little bit of action as well. Maybe it'll look pretty decent, hopefully. But that's the point. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and subscribe if you want more things like this. I'll see you guys next one. Have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.